their teams are here in the playoffs. RRQ trying to prove they're up there as well as Alpha
chamber.
locks in the chamber.
Alpha chamber. Chronicle Vice? I mean, Kayak is not going to play the Cypher.
I mean, I don't know if it gets to a point where you're playing triple set right now against RRQ. It'll be kind of crazy. But yes, Alpha in the chamber, I would respect that for sure. You want to get those aggressive angles against this RRQ that could potentially go for a little bit more of a default when they're going to play their attack side.
Yeah, I'd expect it to be that Yoru coming in because you're pretty much forced to play no flashes, probably crashes on the Sova there, and then you make up for dropping that flash initiator slot with the Yoru, allowing this chamber to come in.
And off the server, I need to see a better Fnatic in terms of mental. The defuse is gonna get to you, but they can't be letting that happen twice on top of getting eco'd after winning a pistol.
They have the experience for sure for this side of Fnatic. I mean, they have so many veteran players from the side of
my
Alpha.
God,
Chronicle, it's happening.
Vice.
Yeah, it's Chronicle on Vice.
It's a Chronicle Vice.
And that's the thing, despite what just happened on that second map of Haven, they still have the experience to just push that aside and making sure that coming out with this brand new comp that RRQ's not ready for, Fnatic is still going to be on top of their game.
I'm really looking to see what they have up on the attacking side. I think the strength of the chamber on defense is obvious, but how does Alpha play it on the attack?
That's the question.
I think at this point here, you're going to see a little bit of a slow play on the side here of Fnatic too, just because they're playing this double senti at the start.
Well, Toronto, this is it. The winner will be moving on. The loser will be eliminated. Make some noise. And for the last time, over to you, Pansy and Kukuka.
We are in uncharted territory here, Bayer, completely in the unknown now. Fnatic coming in with a brand new composition.
Yesterday we were thinking, is Sunset the choice? Would have they liked to go to Ascent? Today we have a response. And what a response that is. Chronicle, for the first time in his career, playing the Vice. Alpha, you're back on that chamber that we've seen so many times. But this composition, across the board, is not very known. Fnatic definitely has to have a very set plan for this last map, for this Ascent, because it was their choice whether they wanted to start on the defense or the attack. And they decided that with this composition, with everything that is at stake, with them being in the brink of elimination and removing EMEA completely from this tournament, it's attack on Ascent. Do you like this?
Oh, behave. I'm so sorry.
Lord.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll leave.
Seriously,
I'll leave.
What else do you want from me?
I'll leave. I'll go home.
Do you reckon they mispicked the agents? Maybe all that hovering. I'm gonna say no because I want to live on this.
Surely not. Wait, I'm looking at the stage. Is anyone moving anything? Is anyone doing anything?
No, I don't see. I just see the Kayak is chilling.
Yeah, even the admins aren't like rushing over. The ref's closing in. Hold on. Ref commentary time. No?
Oh, even Alpha is relaxing.
He doesn't. I don't think he looks that relaxed. He looks terrified in my mind. Because look, if we can actually talk genuinely about this, it's a lot of pressure on that man. Now, the amount of praise we've sung of him throughout the years now is never ending, right? This guy was the original wonder kid, the one who came in and surprised everyone, the Turkish talent, right? You know, all of these accolades and epithets put towards him, and deservedly so. Last map was not good. ISO on Haven for him has
Yesterday
started.
wasn't as well.
Exactly. These have been some really rough performances. Now he's the crowning piece, you know, in this composition potentially. This is pressure. If he doesn't perform here, Bayer, that is devastating.
Absolutely. And we've seen different faces of Fnatic on this Ascent. The last 3 iterations, different compositions. We've seen them running the Deadlock. And I want to see how this composition fits with them. Because as I'm saying, like, we've seen them playing the Vice before. It was actually Alpha playing on that Vice, but not Chrome moves over there. We've seen a lot of Double Sentinel, but it never had the name of Vice and Chamber on it. So I want to see how that makes a difference. It looks like we fixed it, thank freaking God.
It was one of the coach's connection issues. It's fine, it's all good. Let's remember where we were. Fnatic chose to start here on this attacking side. They chose this composition. They think it's got something to it. But these pistols have been elusive for them. They've not had the best times. A Jemkin right off the rip does good damage. And it was laboured. It wasn't pretty, that fight, but Chronicle will take it. He'll be happy enough with a win on this.
4v3 now. RRQ moving on the defense. Monian already approaching mid, and Chronicle's just waiting for him.
He's ready like an absolute book. Control from Chronicle. There's now Boaster should be set up as well. Yeah, this is just perfect. Everything happening the way they wanted.
I like also getting the orb, something that has been very present, say, throughout this game. Getting those ultimates online. If you're going to start with a bang, if you have to do it from the attack, you're going to need those ultimates onto the sites. And for those executes, the spike is going to go down. No opposition on the other side. Cushy just coming in from the other side of the map.
Careful. And again, we roll our minds back to the fact that we have seen RRQ here. It was up against Wolves, and it wasn't a great performance in my mind. It actually that was the first time I was a bit worried, right? Seeing Jemkin not look quite as well played in on, maybe suffering a little bit. Cushy was great, but it wasn't the same sort of effect that we'd seen them have before. Their ability to kind of play around with Jemkin, play him in a lot. And again, it was one of those, I shouldn't be worried about this, right? I can go back to the whole narrative building thing, right? I can talk history. Right, okay. If you kill Alpha... Oh, the crowd. Cushy! He takes a second glance. Oh my god, he's seen both of them. Stop it. Cushy, relax! Got a little something there.
So narrative, you were saying.
Right. But yes, this isn't the first time we've seen this map, and again, it's Cushy looking pretty good here, though. Gotta say,
I think it's very important that you resemble and you speak about that match that we saw against Wolves, because it was a 13-11.
We got a pistol.
Yes, you got pistol, and it was very defined by those pistols. Wolves won both of them, so you're in that scenario that advantage is already going onto the other team. After how devastating for Fnatic that Haven was, they need to start off strong. Just the same showing that we saw from RRQ on Haven.
And also, I do want to put a little bit of a caveat to me watching Jemkin. I want to see him back on really good entries as well, because he kind of fell off a little bit up against Wolves in that regard. Didn't see him having that same level of impact. If he can have this sort of like Haven resurgence, it's game on. For now, though, we're going to see Fnatic going through the motions here. Quick pressure up towards Cat through short, glancing down by Tree. Crazy Guy is playing over towards this side, so a little bit of info already early towards Kayak's position, but propped up Alpha here.
RRQ just leaving the space. Crazy Guy looking, using that knife. I think he didn't catch anyone.
Take flight.
And he's going to go down. A is completely open for Fnatic to take the spike down. And they're going to do it with no opposition. Again, 4 players from RRQ on the opposite side of the map. Easy entry onto site for Fnatic.
Yeah, this is good. Nice pathing so far. Kind of getting their scaling right as well. Just kind of getting some time on the server too. You talk about both these teams. They need a couple more reps, right? Feel out the tempo, get themselves situated. And for Alpha, it'd be nice to get that confidence up here too. Kayak looks like he's fine in that regard. Kron's having a lovely performance so far. Crashy's doing well. So mostly just eyes towards Alpha when it comes to that. But for RRQ, knowing position there, and they don't want to allow any build of those ults, but Fnatic are going looking.
Slowly but surely. They want the orbs.
Alpha, nice. Nice. And a third, not to be. But for him, that's great though. Again, you're building that ult early. You're building confidence early. Cushy again, bro.
That's better than a Marshall. Yeah.
Like, the round's done. It's very similar to the first, but he's still farming up. He's still, I mean, you talk about farming ults. Cushy was the one as well. His ult before up against Wolves was one of the key factors that kept them in the game at times, really doing incredible work. So for me, it put him really on my radar. But gonna need to see this now in this sort of bonus situation for Fnatic.
Yeah, pretty evened out. Fnatic, as you're saying, not having all the credits in the world, and RRQ still looking to make that break in the scoreboard. But still, it's very early in the game to see. I think that they obviously, I'm going to say they did not predict Fnatic to come out with a composition like this one, right? So they have a time of grace for Fnatic to come up with some very set plays, something that RRQ is just not prepared for.
Yeah, this is how well does RRQ learn on the fly too, right? This is going to be a big test here. Jemkin goes for a swing, and he certainly misses. Alpha looking clean with that, but Monyet is not stopping. This seems a bit too risky for me. He's not really got to get out of jail free. The plan was flawed from the start, it felt like. Trying to make something happen over towards A main, but it's just fallen apart.
We just need a highlight reel of Stinger kills from this tournament, because some of them, massive impact in the round. 5v3 situation for Fnatic. Getting closer and closer to securing this bonus. But still, they're being cautious. Chronicle looking up for mid. Everybody just gather up, waiting for RRQ to maybe go in the aggression again.
Yeah, still presence on this side, and this will confirm that they want to stick towards it. 3 players will be here. So Fnatic needs someone to deal with this, and it is dealt with. Crazy Guy doesn't get cleared, but I think that they got a good read on it. Doesn't get affected by the shock dart.
Still has Yuto.
We're getting down to 30 seconds. This is where things can go wrong. It's when if crossfires aren't cleared, corners aren't checked, it can go terribly wrong, as Crazy Guy already does well. 20 seconds, where are you going, Fnatic? You got to keep fighting forward. And Crazy Guy reads it. He reads Chronicle's position absolutely perfectly. The smoke keeping him alive. 13 seconds, we're running out of time here. Flash here, buys a couple more seconds, and they are doing it. They're digging in their heels. Fnatic leaving it too late in the day. 4 seconds. Xpero just needs to live here, surely. Just buy his time. No! He does more than that!
You forget.
He sticks the landing as Poster falls. And the timer then forcing them forward with a Red Bull clutch in the end for RRQ.
They had no business throwing that round for the side of Fnatic. Such a big amount of time.
What was the plan?
+2. Not thinking. Crazy Guy being alive, just having that knife delayed them even more. This was such an issue yesterday. Again,
and you can see it's not good for the coaches. They are not happy with that. Again, that is
how
something
can you be? That's a 5v3.
Yeah, it is. And that is
could
going
have been how you snowball through his half.
Yeah, you're going to hear the ult though for Alpha. That is a big investment here and a very similar start. You're going to want to have Gemkin tapped in towards Wine. Paranoia is good, forcing the TP back. This time around, RRQ plant the banner towards A main. How far do they search this though? That's my question. Alpha's still having a go. He's still on the line here. He's checked in front of that smoke. He's cleared it. So Fnatic now focus towards middle. Keep an eye on the spike though, deep towards spawn. They can't make any quick moves really.
Can secure that part of the map, and that is something that RRQ has learned to respect, even from just this 3 rounds, with everything that is at stake and how close the previous round was. Chen Kim is waiting.
I'm looking at the rotation of Monyet too, is where does he decide to go? That deep smoke towards middle I think is causing him enough worry at this point, but they aren't going back round towards Ace. They are going to have their 3 players here. And holding the line is Gemkin. He's the one, Kayak, excuse me, just on the other side here, tries to play forward, catches 1, catches 2! Kayak kicking open the door with a 3rd! He's there when you need him. When Fnatic needs something, a spark, he ignites. Xpero and Kushi, I think we know their job now is to try and survive.
That play from Kayak, though, was everything. The TP, the everything, all the flashes. He just got into Gemkin's head, and that is not an easy matter at all. 5v2, surely this one, it's secured. We already see the players from RRQ saving for the next round. I want to see a very good repetition of what Kayak just did there.
My camera is destroyed.
If he can find consistency in that level of form, he is arguably one of the best players as it stands. And there was a lot of discussion about it. Of course. There was a lot of standouts from various regions. Obviously with the Teo coming in, how much does that affect it? Or the Teo going out, should I say. But Kayak overall was, most of the M people's top 5s, top 3s, if not, maybe even higher.
Yeah, and seeing Fnatic for the first time without Durke in the international stage, with the name that he had made for himself. Now you're seeing someone else, and he puts out this kind of plays, and you know that he earned that spot. Kushi's going to find crashes at the end of that round.
And again, the interesting factor about Kayak for me is that when he first joined this roster, he wasn't the superstar instantly. There were rumors, there were whispers of his ability in Tier 2, how good he was at dominating that space, but he didn't hit the ground running perfectly. But the potential was there, and now it's absolutely actualized.
Gemkin walking out at the perfect time, just getting the free kill for him. What a play from the duelist.
Now,
RRQ, the money ain't good. The ultimates are getting there. Kushi already has his. And Alpha's just going to be investing into that Outlaw. Again, when the money's not good and when the shields are definitely not going to be heavy, it's a very, very good investment to make. Keeps you safe for the rest of the round, for the rest of the half, sorry. Building up that economy.
I like this little double stack though. It's not worked out, but I like it. Oh wait, this is a big old investment to throw in from Kushi there. That felt maybe a bit too desperate for me.
This composition is a pain in the ass because there's so many TPs on the Yoru.
Oh, and
on the
didn't.
chamber.
And again, for Jemkin, you could understand the temptation to want to play into it, maybe them lingering around in middle, just encourage that. But again, just walks into it. He was meant to be maybe the ace up the sleeve, but it isn't at all. Messi there from Crashies. He's very aggressive to keep his life. And if they continue this pathing towards B, there's still 2 players here. They are only with Classics, but there's a lot of damage done here. Oh my god. Xfero with a jump scare on Alpha, who stays alive. 3 kills for himself. But this site is not free, Vea. 30 seconds. Remaining. Nice clear on towards Crazy Guy.
30 seconds left.
And that is Diligence. Chronicle, very good. Very, very good. Now, Cushy, you're not gonna do any more. That's fine. This was a bit dangerous from Fnatic, but it worked out. And again, I get the temptation, again, even from Cushy. Pop the ult, maybe catch him on Cat. It's a bit closed in. But this composition is so slippery. Those TPs to get out of danger.
It's so annoying. Like, you think you have them, you think you can have a refrag, you think you can go on as 2 and maybe have an advantage, and it just disappears. Alpha Year snaps out of it. Kayak just embraces and gets out of it as well. Poster can get into almost any position with those TPs as well.
Yeah.
But those 2, especially those 2, with that trade denial potential, Jenkin with the operator now, he has to make a difference.
Yeah, he's been a bit hot and cold in middle so far. It feels like he's just behind the wheel sometimes, just off the tempo and the timing. Ooh. Couple layers between them here, but Alpha's been on 1-2. He has been having a good start. Yeah, some eco farming, sure, but 8-3 nevertheless. Trying to be played in by Crashies. And this should be Jemkin now ready himself. Yeah, gets out of danger. He's not fancying sticking around here. Almost tailor-made poison on the catch there towards Market. Jemkin's got Alpha though, and they've still got control of B main. The initial plan is not going to be keeping coming this way. Surely they adjust.
Yeah, I liked what the utility we were seeing from Chronicle.
Hold on, I'm looking towards A, right? It doesn't even seem open either. You've got Monyet sat with a judge, controlling this space still. Oh my god, the timing.
Oh.
The timing. He was within lethal. Screw it! Stay on the ghost, no sweat. Crazy Guy's still here, and this kind of adjustment of plan is difficult for Fnatic. Kayak gonna clear through Jemkin though, opens up a chance, and Crazy Guy feels so. There's no safety on this site, right? Look where that spike is. They're up in. Oh my god, it's Sparrow. It depends where they go with this now. This could be everything or it could be nothing. That dart does not reveal, but Crashies heads up as ever.
Left.
They are taking the tour of Ascent, and they are seemingly winning it, navigating past most of the danger. The TP is here. Monyet makes it in time, but he still just has that judge. He's got the ghost, he sees them. Paranoia in play, he's still trying to make this one work. 15 seconds, can he buy the precious time here? Kayak watching for it, waiting. Plant comes in. Monyet can't affect it yet. Waiting for support to come in, but Crazy Guy's a mile away, and they know it. By this point, even Kron's made it over here. He's up by Market. Oh! Crazy Guy lives up to the name, pops the ult, but it's Chronicle, ice cold in these situations. But there's a timer on what he can do. Gotta get going! Chronicle! Always so damn cold!
Such a close round in the end though, with Crazy Guy getting those 2 kills, but the Red Bull clutch goes for Chronicle this time around. Little bit of the overcook, and as you were saying, the tour that Fnatic went on that round, just giving us a different version of themselves in each of these rounds. At the beginning of it,
Enemy remaining.
I was looking forward to what the Vice could do on that B side, but seeing Fnatic getting round after round here, 5-1, celebrating. Please don't break the coach room. Of course, it calls for a timeout on the RRQ side. Now, Lauren, I have a question for you.
Okay.
So RRQ have already played Ascent this tournament, right? Like, we have seen them with the changes and whatnot into this patch. This is what they bring. Who do you think has the bigger advantage coming into this? Is it RRQ because they have already gotten that rep, that, you know, with the first seed curse, not getting the reps onto stage, not getting a feel of how you're doing? Or Fnatic with a completely new composition that God knows how it's going to work, and not having that official practice on it?
I mean, Fnatic gets to walk in with no one else to be like prepped up against them, right? Which is a dangerous Fnatic. Now, of course, the comp could have fallen on its face potentially, right? Like maybe Alpha has a terrible start, but again, for RRQ, it becomes the question of their ability to learn on the fly. Can they find the adjustments? It's hit round 7, they've gone for the timeout, that's fine, that's fair. But it's unlikely they're going to convert this one. To get a beat on this round, you're always going to be behind the curve. It gives that nice little step up for Fnatic because they hit the ground running, and it's hard to adapt now.
And this round for RRQ would mean a lot. As we can see, Jemkin is 1 away from his ultimate. He secures 1 kill, and he could be the difference maker in round number 7. Frame very close. Fnatic again going for this mid control.
That's a good spot.
And they've done this before. We've seen similar scenes, right? But you can see that Fnatic, we talk about learning on the fly, they certainly are, but Monyet picks the right target, plucks away Alpha and backs away. Crazy Guy now gets contact. They've read a lot of this. They've got an idea of where 3 players are out of the 4 that still stand for Fnatic.
And blocking the eyesight, of course, we see Kayak ready to get on that TP. He also has his ultimate,
next?
but... Oh. He decides to go for it, gathering all the information onto A.
I mean, it's a bold play. Fnatic still have to walk into a pretty stacked site here. Change out of Paranoias as Monyet waits. Tucked behind Dice. Kayak can't really challenge the back of the site here. They might get stuck in towards main. Not again, surely. Kayak just pries open the site. Apparently that's all they need. Kayak just strolling in is enough to get them over the potential hurdle. Sparrow just a second behind. As now, this is a pretty much done round.
Pretty much done. Still, Fnatic, they work for those orbs. Crashes, gets one closer to his ultimate. And speaking about ultimates, with this plant, Chronicle gets his. Kayak wants it.
That's brutal. Fnatic, though, another step in the right direction, and they needed this after map 2. It was a blowout, pretty much. Embarrassed in map 2 by RRQ. The way those rounds went down in that second half should be haunting them. This is exactly what the Doctor would have ordered, though. A quick, decisive reaction. A lot in the hands of Kayak and Alpha, and both of them doing exactly as they need to.
And RRQ need to make a decision. We saw that timeout, yes, the previous round. The economy wasn't the best, but maybe some aggression, maybe just setting up some of the plays. They need something else beside that bonus that it wasn't theirs to take even. That 3v5. They need to find that kind of energy. Moni has been being deadly. Not only in the previous map, but also here. Definitely being a nuisance.
And I like this. I like the way they're using the Vice to kind of scale up on the map. Again, kind of using the Vines to go down the Thorns over towards Short, kind of then using that as a way to take space safely off the back too. It's really nice layering for this mid control that they've been trying to, I guess, work through for most of the, opening exchanges in this map. So far so good. First time we've seen Fnatic start with a little bit more pressure towards that B main, but it doesn't look like they're particularly sticking around here. This high attention to detail over towards Cat once again re-emerging.
Taking their time. We know that Fnatic are definitely good at doing that. Feel comfortable.
I need to see some discipline from Jemkin too, because there's obviously that want to play into it and be pivotal and be aggressive in a way, but he has been caught on a couple of timings by Alpha in middle. I want to see him find a way to deal with that tempo now.
Speaking about tempo, Kayak is ready to walk. He is going to be spotted.
30 seconds left.
2 of the players, the rotation coming in from RRQ. And again, they might find each other at CT. 20 seconds.
TP, and this is now running really, really late. Okay, this will help things, but I think Monyet might have been out of it, but Kayak gonna catch the rotate. Jemkin goes down again, 10 seconds, please don't make him.
10 seconds left.
This could be unthinkable if he denies the plant on this one. Oh my God, Monyet! That might have been everything. Look at the time now, it's too late. I'm pretty sure this is way too late. Monyet makes a monstrous play there.
Weapon here.
I just cannot believe it keeps happening. At some point, you might think, no, it's not going to happen this time around. They know how to play with the time. They're going to leave for at least a couple of options. But with so many players alive, you not having the information of what is on site, what is on main, just leaving this onto the last second when you've worked towards the map, when you've worked that information layer by layer, corner by corner.
Good thought.
Yeah, good hold. Good hold. Exactly.
But again, though, these are the cracks that will be there in this attack from Fnatic. It won't be perfectly smooth yet. They won't be in that complete consideration. I think some of the issues of this round started before that point, how late it was. If RRQ leave them a little bit of space, sit a little bit deeper, make them work for their dinner, how do they navigate this? Now, normally it's been Kayak kicking down A and just getting 2, but if they are made to slow play through this map, how does that fare? Really need to see Jemkin playing this perfectly, though, because again, he might be the one in that crosshair instantly.
Alpha pushing with that operator, but RRQ, they're not giving a single inch. They know what they're facing, and they know what's worked for them.
And I like this. Sitting a bit deeper, as I said, I think is a good reaction. Fnatic do like this late control towards tree. They've been playing it. And I also like this push out towards B main. This hasn't been an area they've been contesting often. This gives them good information. This is solid. This is a nice approach. 45 seconds, and none of that contested space has been taken by Fnatic yet, barring maybe Cat and now Tree. They can't late play back into B because they're going to be so behind the curve on the information. And that's divine from Jemkin. The spike is pivoting. Now, it's going to be a crunch. Chronicle's good at this, but if they keep their eyes on the prize here, and again, Xvero does do well on towards Kayak, but late in the day, they've made the run work here. Chronicle's saving them from what could have been a disaster. It felt like RRQ started to get the read on sitting deep, making them explore further, but Fnatic saved by Chronicle's diligence, but it's still a 3v3. It's not impossible, just a little improbable when you look at who's here. Chronicle's control is legendary. Swings off the pop of the ult, but that's a player without a gun in their hands. They can try and gap close, and they are. You can see it and put it away, but Boaster with a shot through the smoke, catching Jemkin. Monyet looks for a target, dives in on site. Can't quite control on the first try. Can't get the spray. Crazy Guy now needs a 1v3 as Fnatic holding all the cards. Chronicle, that was a brilliant round from him.
You're speaking about diligence, and Chronicle has been all that this entire match. The condition and also that he's been making in this map.
30 seconds.
Constant pain here on me.
I mean, if he didn't do that, I think the round would be done.
Yeah.
Genuinely. Coming back to these sort of late rotations, if you aren't clearing this space as well as he does, you're done.
With two of the players, like the movement from RRQ was good.
Yes.
Two of the players just waiting for this to happen. We also saw the utility from Cypher on site. They were ready, they were prepared, and then Chronicle happened.
Now they might fall into the trap of got to get proactive with these ults, play, you know, in towards this fight on Cat. The temptation, obviously, so sweet, but again, for Fnatic, they've been really good at clearing this. And you can see Kayak is so locked in. Oh my god, he snapped back so quick. And again, this was kind of off the back of that want of maybe playing in Jemkin a little bit, taking some of that space, but Xvero's the one to do well here. Taking away Chronicle is huge.
Absolutely. They've been putting up a lot of utility to those drones that we were speaking of. Not only he gets the kill, he also gets to use his ultimate.
Oh, I like this as well, though. You take space on one side, but in the meantime, they push so much deeper towards A main. They don't need to go further than this. With him being here, you get so much information. And again, it was a mistake that was made before that Monyet managed to punish in that wild round with that timing. So they can cheat the rotations over towards B. They can get these players here way earlier because of that pushed out position. This is now going to be one of those later rounds. Now, can Fnatic somehow find this information themselves? I don't think so. So in reality, they have the players in the right place here. Last time, Kron was the one who was god tier at playing from this, but it looks like a focus towards top middle. RRQ doubting themselves, it felt like, wanting to check, wanting to make sure, but they were right in the read. But the timing now wrong as Fnatic get the red carpet rolled out towards B as the plant next in the steps to be taken. Cushy trying to thread a needle that I don't think is potentially there. Takes away one. That is a Vandal picked up. Good util still left here as well, but Crazy Guy just about making it over here. And Crashy's making him do the dance, right? Putting him through the paces. We're going to need like a shot in the dark, right? We're going to need something. What do you have here? Cushy taking the first step. Nice off the flash, but he couldn't quite land it. Boaster in the back lines, doing what is necessary. That makes it sound like I was saying the dance was necessary. That, less so. But 8-2 Bayer, they're in control.
8-2 and looking very dominant. Yes, those 2 rounds that they lost, big mistakes, very big mistakes. Good to see them back in the board. And RRQ in this round made the worst decision that they could make. And it's giving Fnatic what they want. But they're waiting for such a long time for you to make a mistake, for you to take the step.
When was the prime, do you think, of Boaster?
The prime of Boaster? Astra.
Oh, right.
He's a very good Astra. Like when Astra was on top, he was very, very good.
Now,
especially even like maps like Fracture and whatnot. Yeah.
You actually answered that honestly. I was just flaming.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But RRQ gonna burn this time out here, right? Because I do feel like they've had the right reads a good couple of times. I think even that first time out was correct. I think them playing deeper. I think them playing into that, but they lacked the conviction in the right call in that last round, and that's the devastating part. They were right about it and then just misplayed it at the end. So, as said, this to me feels like they're watching this game fall between their fingertips.
These first halves are being so one-sided. Both of the teams using both of the timeouts, or their timeouts, in the first half. But you have to get back on the board. You might say that they have the right read, but it really looks like Fnatic are doing whatever they want with them. You think like, oh, the Euro wants the TP here, I'm not going to allow it. I know that Alpha's going to try and get that space. But actually, it's working. So for Fnatic, a couple more rounds. Already 6 rounds of difference in the scoreboard. Alpha, you're just feeling so comfortable pushing with that operator. Jenkim needs to go back and prove to us that he has what it takes. What he had on Haven. And I feel like we've seen this round 3,000 times.
Hey, if it's working,
I'm already tired of this comp. Nah.
But aggression down middle, it's not looked good, actually. Again, I think that Jemkin's been very, very willing to go for it, but it's just not worked for him at all. Alpha's generally been having his number in this. It's not looked easy for him by any means.
This time they go for the little aggression onto me, trying to force something complemented with the utility, and the one shot that he hits is on Kayak's bone. So not looking the best there.
And he does have a little bit of utility to play with, I guess, invested kindly by Xfero, but now he's on the chopping block. Like, what do we do? Okay, well, okay, you just headshot Kayak, I guess, is what we do, but it's a one and done. There's no furthering that. And now the map's split in half. 2 on either side. Where does Fnatic decide to go? They've won the mid-fight completely. That's the spike going through
30
market,
seconds
That's
left.
Again? Really, really isolated.
Yeah.
Okay, the rest are coming up here, but I was a bit worried he was on his own. Now, no one was there to punish him. We're seeing how deep RRQ are sitting. Fury, gonna find a man. Ooh, and the follow-up to Alpha goes down. Okay. Now, do they scarper? It's messy from Boaster there. Couldn't get back in time again. Feel like a broken record, but running out of time and running out of options. Fnatic luckily have 8 rounds, so it's not been that much of a big deal. But this is how they've been losing them. 2 seconds, they're just going to let it fizzle out. It's not the most explosive way to get to 3, but RRQ will take it.
Absolutely. I think that timeout, maybe for the side of Fnatic, is guys, you're doing well, keep it going. For the side of RRQ, take the right timing, learn when to push. Let's put a little bit of pressure onto them and see how they respond to that. Super important, this ultimate for pushing and this skill on Monier. Again, the numbers from yesterday, an average of 1 minute and 9 seconds to get the spike down for Fnatic. That is outrageous, and obviously the highest in playoffs.
Oh, it's got 5 years in the cake.
Of course. Happy 5 years, everybody.
Yeah, congrats. Now, what do we see here? I'd like to see Fnatic almost kind of playing with a gear shift, which actually looks like they are now, because again, you've almost lulled RRQ into a sense of safety that is not here. Cushy trying to find him, but it's actually Xfero who's caught Boaster. And Fnatic have really held up towards B main. They have managed to burst through, banking on Kayak's ability to do something with this. Commits towards Boathouse, crashes down, comes out, but there's 3 players on the side. This is
I'm not sure about this, Lauren.
Fnatic could be caught up in the blender here, but they still need to land the shot. If you're RRQ, easy. This is so tense. I like the idea of the gear shift, but something slowed them down towards main that just stopped them actually committing.
4v4 on site.
God, please be disciplined, RRQ. You don't need to do too much. We said it before when they made that play towards top middle. They got almost, they got into their own heads about it. They're once again right about this. They don't need to change. They hold these positions, hold this line. They make it hard for Fnatic, but here we go. Alpha unleashing Fury, but the site is still not clear. You got 30 seconds and 2 more to find. Cushy. Are you the hero to step up for RRQ, or a Fnatic just past that hurdle? Is perfect. Takes 1, doesn't expect to follow up though. Alpha was the one getting those kills on Cap before. He loses his head for a second. And with 14 seconds, the plant is in. And that doesn't make things easier. Chronicle is, oh my God, he's so low on HP too. 3 HP is all that's there. Alpha, back of the boathouse, sends Crazy Guy back into basically the second half. 3-9 Bayer. Fnatic look good in this form. They've given themselves a buffer. It wasn't perfect, but it's better than nothing.
But when you think about those mistakes, those rounds that they lost, they could have perfectly won. They need to get back on the drawing board. This composition is giving us so much, and I cannot wait for what we're going to see on the defense.
Hola, Toronto, as we get ready for our next half of play here. What I figured what we do, because Man Silly did this, so I thought it'd be fun to do it myself. A little hydration break, that's right. Take a swig for the working man and woman of the world today. Now, of course, the most important thing is, if you have a drink in your hand, you want to give a toast to the two teams on stage. You see yourself on camera, give yourself a toast, give yourself a drink. Let's do this right now. See? Cheers to the invisible person. I just spilled it on myself. Like a tonto. Unbelievable. All right. Who we got next? Look at him. Take a swing for the working man. Do it. Yeah.
Fnatic's creativity giving them a solid standing here in the half Bayer. 9 rounds to their name. Yes, some fumbles. Yes, some missed timings. But 9 rounds is solid.
And from the attack, something that they chose themselves. Now moving on to the defense, but our eyes have to go on to the other side.
Yes.
RRQ might have not been able to find some solutions, but now they should be the ones setting the pace. It has to be night and day for a player like Jemkin.
It certainly does. We saw his potential in Map 2. We've seen his potential during that regular season. The guy is damn good. But it's been a hard first half. A lot of those timings and tempos was rough for them. So the Coinbase Econ report kind of highlighting some of that here with, again, small number, not good.
Most for me is going to be Chronicle and how much of a pain he was over onto A, something that, sorry, onto B, something that we're probably going to see also from the defense. But I want to see how deep this composition goes. Having the chamber, having the Vice, you have so many things to work with that probably the opponent did not expect for today's match. This is not the way you expected to close things out if you were RRQ. Okay, not everything is set. Starts with a pistol though.
It certainly
as we
does.
Always say.
It certainly does. And Fnatic weren't loving them before, right? They were hard
I mean, even if they
work.
caught the pistol, yeah.
But here we go. Final half to be had. Map 3 between the two of them. RRQ bringing out all the big guns in Map 2. But Map 3 could be all over in a blink of an eye. They need this pistol.
Flash.
Instant aggression, gathering of the orb. Nothing on the other side from Fnatic. Boaster just walks away, and Kayak takes an advanced position on B main.
Yeah, I like it. Again, you can get out of jail free. Just got to keep your eye on the timing. See the consideration of a mid-walk, not happened yet. Double stack up towards market. Kayak, the early warning system, an a lethal one at that, does
Portal closed.
get out of there. Xfero now will control that corner, but it's only seeing a Cypher doesn't give you everything you want. But now not alone, walks back in with Kron, but he falls. Body blocked almost. Kron, though, tries to play it forward. Didn't want to back away, and now they speed up on the execute. Banging shot from Boaster there. Catching just the corner of Monyet and quickly threads ahead. Now you've got a fast rotate coming in from Crazy Guy, who's all the way over towards that A side of the map. So late positioning towards main, but Boaster's ahead of it. Paranoia still in play. Smoke still there. Dart as well. But no synergy on that? I don't know if I loved what I saw then from him. Would rather maybe hold that space and play back in together, but now down to the two, Alpha and Crashies. Still got util, as said, this is pretty big for them. But that late positioning towards main is rough. It's keeping Alpha's eyes towards it. Timing, the factor, gotta get a move on, gotta get going, and they're playing the game. This could be doing the dance with him, right? Gonna make them work for it. Crashies, damage! But 2 more to go, and Crazy Guy's position is the checkmate. Monyet just needs to live, and he does more than that. It's a pistol for RRQ. And a little bit of a weird choice from Boaster there.
And it's so good that they were patient in that round. We got the orb, we just still follow the plan. We're lucky enough to get this first pick onto Kayak, who had already taken a bit of damage. We secure it with the 1 for 2, and we go on to plant the spike. Also, I think in that situation was just
That's our pistol,
it's kind of a dilemma, right? You don't have the information of where the rest of the players are. It can be coming from main. You need to move. You do not have really the time to wait for the rest of your teammates. No ideal scenarios, but for RRQ, only 5 rounds separate them now for Fnatic, and this should be the 5th one for them.
Xfera's been a pretty safe pair of hands in my mind as well. He's been rather good in these sort of positions. So let's see how he plays if they do decide to crest that corner and explore further. For now, it's just a stack, leaving Alpha as the pretty much the bastion of hope on the A site, right? The one-man turret over there. But it's patient again from RRQ, maybe trying to get the lay of the land themselves. Is there a mid-walk? Is there a stack? They need to be using some of the util to clear this at some point. Maybe waiting for that util to cycle back up.
With the composition that they're playing up against, taking this time in. Also, Fnatic has been fairly aggressive in the rounds that they've had no economy.
I'm scared.
They're walking towards it.
Yeah, but hopefully they use some of that lovely utility they've got loads of, right? I'm still a bit nervous here. Yeah, okay, I think they felt the danger in that, even just the cam being cleared as it was. And here comes, let's see if that control is in play. No, Crashy's quick on his feet. As Alpha does need to back away. Expected reposition. Jemkin, eyes already trained towards it. Plants in play. It's dangerous, but they find stability. Now they need to keep Cushy and Jemkin living in this, though. Those two Vandals are precious cargo. Cushy layering in the util, keeping them chipped down as best he could. But Crashies with that Bulldog is the dangerous factor. They are all eyeing up coming through from here. Knife fantastically timed. Catching at least 3 of them, denying this springboard in. Paranoia goes, Cushy now out of the situation. Alpha finds Crazy Guy. Jemkin goes down, suddenly crashes in a 1v2. Again, difficult, but desperately tried. Monyet, once again, the final man standing. And suddenly that scoreboard doesn't look so impossible.
Both Vandals just moving on to the next round. RRQ, as you're saying, 5 on the board. This looks perfectly doable. We've seen them having very strong starts, converting the bonus. Will almost make this a very, very even affair. Again, we still have to see how this composition from Fnatic really works on the defense. And I think we're going to get a very fair showing now. How Alpha is going to be positioned, how they use having that and the Euro as well. We can see now as all the utility from Chronicle on his first Vice over onto A.
Yeah, big switch up in that. As obviously until this point for the Pistols, they did have Alpha kind of soloing out on towards that A site as much as they could. Put a lot of faith in towards him here. And the walk back comes in towards B. So trying to steady themselves here. Kayak has been solid. That's a player spotted here. And he's sticking around on this. I'm a bit worried he stays so close here. Oh my god. Thankfully that wall now reinforced, a little less of an issue.
That's 3 people spotted. That's what we see. All that utility coming down. Xfera actually gathering that orb for the
He's a brave boy.
Okay. Just in case someone else gets the kill.
Ooh, did they spot? I don't know if they spotted Alpha. They kind of looked down, but I don't think they did. Lazy clear. Oh my, what is that? You do not see that every day. A mess made by Alpha, being gifted the chance of the gods from that. And now that all comes into play. That is perfect. And look instantly at where they're heading. It's Kayak and Crashies though. Big boys on the server here. Big players. 25 seconds getting late in the day. They decide to slip towards the site. Waiting for the util to come, but it ain't even here. They're just powering on in. Crashies find some safety in the smoke. And I say that very tentatively. Chronicle gonna catch the heels of Xfera. It's game on. Fnatic, they thrive apparently when the time's so late. Monyet can't find this many players in this little time. Fnatic, it got dangerous. But Alpha just stood up.
Oh no.
He stood up.
Okay.
Where's the glue gone? Someone find the glue. Stick him to that chair. It's dangerous because this round as well, I like what they did. Alpha. Oh.
He's celebrating for the rest of them. It's not for him.
Okay, okay, so that's okay.
Nice Gron!
Nice Gron.
Anchoring Kayak. I love that from
Nice
you, my
anchoring
boy.
Kayak. You're doing a brilliant job over in B. Doesn't matter. Was the bonus for RRQ. There's still plenty of chances. 3 to be exact.
And again, they're still having to learn to face this top, right? Oh my god, what? Kayak just drifted
finding
out.
the opener again.
Yeah, Jemkin's starting to get these entries going, and that shot wasn't clean enough to truly punish Cushy, so he keeps his life. But Alpha's temptation is still here. He's trying to be proactive. Oh, the timing. Oh my god, you are lucky to be breathing, crazy guy. The spray off with Vandals always seems like a terrible idea, but it's fine. So far, they bully their way up Cat. Looking towards the safe side, but Chronicle has been the safest player. Always so deadly in these situations. Let's see how well he does in this new role here. Chronicle's gone down, but Alpha stomps into the site. 3 for him! Back-to-back damage. Now down to 2, 45 seconds, much more time, but the final boss of Alpha seems to be standing. Slip in the net, but it seems to be considered. Already pinged out. Boaster eyeing this up, but timing is everything. And he's got it. Expero falls, leaving just one man alive, and Alpha's corner has not been cleared this time. Gets away with it with 4 kills, and apparently the curse is broken.
The curse is broken, it doesn't matter, but he's not standing up this time around. It doesn't matter that he got the 4K. You know, you don't play with lag like that. Not a second time around. Struggled to find the first one, it doesn't matter. He closes out with 4, but it couldn't have been possible without the paranoia, the flash from Vice, putting all of that pressure on a team that's trying to execute on you. 11 for Fnatic, 2 away from continuing a lower bracket run. RRQ now, as you can see on your screens, the economy is not the best. Jemkin 1 away from his ultimate, working with the shorty, trying to get that orb, or at least they're gonna try and fight for it.
Oh, paranoia.
It's no follow-up though.
Yeah, kind of scarpering, but timing-wise, Fnatic coming into their own in moments like this is dreamy for them. After a brutal map 2, their creativity being rewarded here as that 12th round looking ever so likely. Alpha strikes, 20 kills for him. After what was genuinely a very hard map 2 and not a particularly brilliant map 1, he has found his form when he needed it, when Fnatic needed it. Hallmark of a good player. Shot goes astray that time. But RRQ looking for ways forward, and there aren't too many. Again, got to say it, Chronicle in this role. Lovely to see, but Jemkin tries to close in. Oh, it was laboured, but he's got the job done. Caught on the cross though, Alpha. Oh, right out of the sky! That is the man we were just talking about. The beast himself, the Wonder Kid, is back.
And he's standing up to celebrate. This is 100% deserved. What a crazy run from him. I need to see that shot again. I need to see that shot again.
I know Kunkun's not here, but it's nice to see shots out of the sky like that. I'll take that every day of the week. Now, is it over? Was RRQ's hopes and chances dashed by this brand new composition that looks so good? It looks creative. It looks like it's on the money, and it's given Alpha that real resurgence here.
Absolutely. Spera forced out. One of his cages gone.
Here.
7 in a row needed for RRQ, and Alpha's waiting on the other side.
3 players, 3 bodies to try and drop. So far, they make it past the first hurdle. But he's not missing now! Alpha stepping up to a new level here. Crazy guy, Cushy, Expero, that's all that they've got to bank on. And Cushy's a mile away. Position noted. He's got the spike too. If he goes down, that could be just done for. But no, they don't swing into it. They play this cautiously. They play it right.
Taking their time. Slowly but surely.
Flash needs to be perfect. It ain't gonna do the job. They're waiting, and Kayak there. It's been a 1-2 punch the whole time. It's either Kayak or Alpha. And Expero has to face the music. It is done! Fortune favoring the bold. Fnatic bringing out a brand new look, securing their safety and survival in the lower bracket.